Today on General Hospital, Justine turns her attention towards building a case against Michael. Suzanne realizes Willow is guilty. And Trina and Kai agree to come forward if they need to in order to save Michael. The show opens with a replay of Willow being found not guilty in court. Willow is ecstatic, hugs Alexis, and says, "You did it. We won." Alexis, naturally, doesn't share in her joy. Justine gives Dante a look. Kai can't believe Willow got away with it, and Michael walks out of the courtroom. Sunny arrives at Diane and Alexis' office, but Suzanne says both lawyers are in court. She says Willow's jury is back, and Sunny hopes she's acquitted. Susanna is surprised as the DA could go after Michael, but Sunny doesn't think there is enough evidence against him. Suzanne then learns that Willow was acquitted back in court. Willow is told she's free to go, and Nina hugs her daughter. Dante tells Justine that he's sorry. She knows they lost this case because of the traffic cam footage, and she wants the head of whoever tampered with that evidence. Chase approaches Willow and is happy for her. She says she knows he played a huge part in freeing her. Suddenly, Drew charges his wife and kisses Willow, claiming he knew all along that she'd be freed. Nina and Chase look disgusted by the display of affection. Trina and Kai take off. Willow thanks her mom, Chase, and Drew for their support and belief in her. However, she'll forever owe a debt of gratitude to Alexis. As she says this, Drew appears annoyed. Drew, however, agrees with Willow, and Alexis reminds Drew of their deal. She walks out, and Drew again seems annoyed. Nina tells Willow that now she can work on getting her kids back, but Drew says they should celebrate tonight. Nina loves the idea, invites Chase over, and says she'll pick up champagne. Drew's annoyance clearly grows. Drew, with Willow, approaches Turner and says, "No hard feelings, and I'll be in touch about pressing charges against Michael." Drew and Willow walk out. Nina again thanks Chase, and she promises him that his sacrifice won't be forgotten. Nina leaves, and Dante and Justine approach Chase. Justine warns Chase that Willow may be free, but his interference could land him in prison. Chase insists he'd never tamper with evidence to protect Willow. The detective says perhaps if Justine had done her job to put the real shooter behind bars, she wouldn't be harassing him. He storms off, and Justine tells Dante, "Build me a case against your brother." Dante tells Justine that Nathan is re-examining the evidence, but they still have other suspects. Justine explains that thanks to Alexis' strategy, they have to follow through with focusing on Michael. Trina and Kai head to the cafe, and Trina says this will sound crazy, but Willow going free might not be terrible. What Willow did was wrong, but now she's stuck with Drew, as leaving him would look suspicious, and maybe that's punishment enough. However, if Michael is arrested, they can't stay silent. Kai says he will go to the police on his own. He says he loves her too much to let her throw her life away, not when they have finally been brought back together. Alexis arrives at her office and starts throwing files everywhere. Suzanne checks on her and asks if she's okay. The assistant notes that Alexis is acting as if she lost. Suzanne quickly realizes Willow is guilty. Alexis asks how long she's known, and Suzanne explains that when they practiced for the trial, Willow came off too defensive, and Alexis slipped during her final statement. She doesn't make mistakes like that. Alexis swears her to confidence and tells her about the evidence Kai and Trina presented her, but she doesn't name them. Alexis knows she's likely had other guilty clients, but she implicated Michael and destroyed Portia's life in the process of freeing Willow. Suzanne suggests Alexis focus on Scout, and that's what is important. Even if she told Drew the truth, Alexis knows he wouldn't believe her because of his huge ego, and he'd take Scout away. Suzanne points out that Willow is Drew's problem now. Drew and Willow arrive home, and she says the only thing that would make this better is if her kids were here. Drew promises he will get her kids back. Scout runs out and learns Willow won't be going to prison, and she hugs her stepmom. Willow tells Scout she is free thanks to her grandma, and soon she'll be spending a lot more time with her. Nina shows up with champagne to celebrate, And Drew asks Willow to fix Scout a snack so he can have a word with Nina. Willow and the girl leave, and Drew orders Nina to go. He plans to tell Willow that Nina wanted her to be found guilty so she could play the hero, which Nina did not say. So as not to make a scene, Nina agrees to leave, but calls Drew insane and insists he won't keep her out of her daughter's life. Chase shows up with flowers, which Drew takes from him, and then tries to push the detective out. Unfortunately for Drew, Willow returns and hugs Chase upon seeing the flowers. Drew explains that Nina had to leave early, so maybe they should celebrate another time. Willow again thanks Chase for believing in her and tells him how wonderful he is before the cop leaves. Alone, Willow tells Drew there will be time to celebrate later. For now, she asks Drew to hold her. She then embraces him. Michael arrives home and chugs a beer. Sunny soon shows up, and Michael vents that everyone in town believes he shot Drew, even his father. Sunny says he doesn't care if he shot Drew, but he won't let him go down for it. Michael says even if he stays out of prison, Willow could get partial or sole custody of their kids, and he won't let his kids live with Drew. He must protect his children. Michael again states he didn't shoot Drew, but he expects Justine to come after him to save face. Sunny promises him that if they come for his son, it won't be Turner doing it in Anna's cell. Faison's voice speaks to her, but she refuses to believe it's him as he's dead. Faison's voice taunts that not even death can part them. We see someone watching her from the other side of the mirror where Pascal usually stands, but we don't actually see Pascal. Anna maintains this is a trick, but Faison's voice points out that people thought his children were dead, so perhaps they all received the same miracles. He laughs that she'll never be rid of him. Anna runs off and pukes, but remains more convinced than ever that this is a trick and Faison's brain is in a jar. Faison's voice says it's not his brain in that jar, and all will be revealed in time. He says his recovery has been slow, but once he is healed, she'll be able to see he's back. In her cell, Anna asks what he is saying, that she's stuck here until Faison's ready to face her. The voice says to be patient, and before long, she'll leave this place, and they'll spend their lives together in their new home. At the cafe, Trina plants a kiss on Kai and calls him the kindest and most decent man she knows. However, if it comes to it, they will come clean together. As Justine is leaving court, Sunny shows up. He heard she had a rough day and is here to do her a favor. At home, Michael is looking at a photo of his kids. Chase shows up and hopes they can put this behind them now that Willow is free. Michael asks how, when Chase is convinced he shot Drew. If he goes to prison, Chase has condemned his kids to a life with Willow and Drew, and he isn't about to let bygones be bygones. Alexis is alone in her office when there is a knock at her door. She wants no more visitors, but Suzanne insists she'll want this one. It's Scout, whom Alexis is thrilled to see. Finally, Willow hopes Drew doesn't mind that she let Chelsea take Scout to see her grandma. Plus, she wanted time alone. They toast to their future. Drew sits in a chair and suggests they go on a vacation. Willow comes up behind him and suddenly shoves a needle into his neck. Drew keels over and asks what she's done. Willow says, "Everything will work out, Drew. You will see." Drew passes out on the floor. Okay, who thinks Willow just put him in a coma and is going to turn her obsession to Chase next? Chase deserves any bit of crazy coming his way on the next General Hospital. Tracy tells Nina that Karma finally caught up with Drew, and Michael asks Chase, how long before you are back in Willow's bed? Find out more spoilers for Tuesday, January 20th for all soaps right here.